India has had several firsts, and it is quite important for us to know about the first president of our country. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was an independent activist, a scholar, a teacher, a lawyer, and a prominent politician, and most importantly, the first president of the independent India. He was also one of Mahatma Gandhi's dearest comrades during the freedom struggle. On the account of his 136th birth anniversary, in this video, let us look back on the legacy that was his life in 10 points. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was born at Siwan in Bihar on 3rd December 1884. He was the youngest born among his one elder brother and three elder sisters. In his childhood, he would often hear stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata from his mother, Kamaleshwari Devi. Unfortunately, she died when he was still a child. Thereafter, his elder sister took care of him. After he completed his elementary education, Prasad was sent to the Champra district school. Later, along with his brother Mahendra, he went to Patna to study at the T.K. Ghoshi's Academy for 2 years. As a brilliant student, he scored the first rank in the entrance examination of the University of Kolkata and was awarded a scholarship of ₹30 per month. He joined Presidency College in Kolkata in 1902 as a science student. In 1905, he graduated with the first division from the University of Kolkata. On one of his answer sheets, the examiner had left a comment that the examinee is better than the examiner. In the year 1907, prominent freedom fighter and leader Gopal Krishna Gokhale asked him to join the Servants of India Society. But after much deliberation and owing to his duties towards his family and education, Prasad refused. By 1907, he had finished his MA in economics, and by 1917, he passed in his Masters in Law examination and won a gold medal for the same. He also subsequently finished his doctorate in law. Prasad played a key role in the formation of the Bihari Students' Conference, a first of its kind organization in India, in the hall of the Patna College. The organization produced many prominent leaders like Anurag Narayan Sinha and Krishna Singh, who played important roles in the Champaran movement and non-cooperation movement. In the years later, the organization provided political leadership to the state of Bihar. After working for a few years as a teacher and then a lawyer, Prasad realized that he was being drawn towards the freedom movement. Although his first association with the Indian National Congress began in 1906, he officially joined the party in 1911 during the annual session held in Kolkata. He met Mahatma Gandhi in 1916, and during the Champaran movement, he was greatly influenced by Gandhi's dedication, courage, and conviction. So when Gandhi gave a call for non-cooperation movement, Prasad quit his duties as a lawyer and as an aide to the university and joined the freedom movement full-time. He also started a national college near Patna in 1921. Prasad was always in the front line to help people whenever there was a crisis. When Bihar and Bengal faced severe floods in 1914, he volunteered and distributed food and clothes to the victims. In 1934, Bihar experienced a terrible earthquake, which was followed by floods again and an outbreak of malaria. Prasad went around collecting food, clothes, and medication for those affected. In May 1935, an earthquake hit Quetta, which is present-day Pakistan. But Prasad wasn't allowed to go out due to government restriction. So he set up the Quetta Central Relief Committee in Sindh and Punjab to help the affected. Prasad stood by his mentor, Gandhiji, and supported him all throughout the non-cooperation movement, Swadeshi movement, and the Salt Satyagraha, and led his own rallies and movements for the cause. His excellent service raised his profile inside the Indian National Congress. He was elected as the president of the Congress in 1934 during the Bombay session. After Subhash Chandra Bose resigned in 1939 from the post, Prasad was re-elected. In 1942, during the Quit India movement, he was arrested at Siddiqui Ashram in Patna. He was released in June 1945 after 3 years. Under the Jawaharlal Nehru, an interim government was formed in 1946 and there were 12 nominated ministers. Prasad was allocated the Food and Agriculture Department. He was also elected as the President of Constituent Assembly, which was established to frame the Constitution of India in 1946. He presided over the assembly from 1946 to 1949. In 1947, he also became the president of the Indian National Congress for the third time after the resignation of J.B. Kripalani. On 26 January 1950, Prasad was elected as the independent India's first president. As the president, he visited many countries on goodwill and built diplomatic relations for the newly formed state. He also stressed on the need of peace in a nuclear age. He was also responsible for the transformation of the Rashtrapati Bhavan into an elegant Indian home. During his tenure of 12 years as the president, Prasad was a strict follower of rules dictated by the constitution and acted independently of politics. He retired from politics in 1962 and was awarded the Bharat Ratna subsequently. Post-retirement, Prasad spent his last days in Sadiki Ashram in Patna with his wife, Rajavamshi Devi Prasad, whom he had married at the mere age of 12. She died on 9 September 1962. A few months later, on 23 February 1963, Prasad died of a heart attack at the age of 78. Rajendra Smriti Sangrahalaya in Patna is dedicated to Dr. Prasad. As the nation's first citizen, Dr. Rajendra Prasad had big dreams and aspirations for India. He also worked hard to achieve those dreams as much as he could. He laid the foundation for all the diplomatic relations the country developed in the future. Before we conclude this episode, here's a note for the bibliophiles. Prasad was a great writer and had penned down quite a few books like Satyagraha at Champaran, Division of India, Mahatma Gandhi and Bihar since independence. You can also read Atmakatha, his autobiography, to know more about his life.